there's a special relationship between the third principle and the fifth principle. There's a very special relationship between the third and the fifth principle. And you can hear it in the words, right? Vibration and rhythm. I mean, come on, that's the same thing. So it's giving you a hint of what's going on. That you've got the same thing that's above being recreated below. So you've got three sets of three. You've got three fundamental principles, actually. If you take three numbers and you permute them into each other, you can produce seven possibilities. If you've got A, B, and C, then you can have A, you can have B, you can have C, you can have A, B, you can have AC, you can have BC, and then you can have A, B, C. That's seven possibilities mathematically from three principles. So the three principles permuting into themselves became seven principles. It's really important to understand this. The Trinity, the fundamental triad of how the monad, the duad, and the triad produced the first triad of being. And the first triad of being, you can see it very well expressed in the Kabbalah, in the Etzrim, in the Tree of Life. You've got the first fundamental triangle, which represents Atzilut, which represents the causal reality. Then you've got the second triangle, which is called the astral triangle. That represents the astral state of being. Then you've got the third triangle that represents the etheric triangle. That is the etheric field that fits into the astral field, that fits into the causal field. And these three triangles fit into the reality that we're living in. So these are the three dreams of the shaman, right? The first triangle is the supernal divine sphere. The second triangle is the middle world. The etheric triangle is the underworld. So we've got the underworld, and it's completely right that you have to travel down into the roots of the tree, into the underworld, into the etheric, in order to access the astral, in order to access the divine planes. The divine planes are encapsulating the astral field, and the astral field is encapsulating the etheric field, and the etheric field is encapsulating the physical form. And so we're like looking at Russian dolls. We're inside the etheric field, dreaming up this reality, which is a conglomeration of the three triangles. And so you've got 3, 3, 3. The first 3 is 3. The second 3 is that 3 plus the other 3, which is 6. And the third set of 3s is the 6 permuted into the final 3, which is 9. 3, 6, 9. So there's something being explained here about those 3 important triangles in the Tree of Life and what they represent. And these triangles are also in the Vedic systems. When you look at the chakras, they are being expressed there. Manipura is a very important point in Vedic systems. You've heard about Chinese medicine, the triple burner, how fundamentally important it is for our fight and flight and various different parts of ourselves. The expression, life force is basically being expressed through the triple burner as its fundamental structure, which is why it's so fundamental to our health. If your triple burner goes out of whack, you're basically on your way out. And so there's a special relationship between vibration and rhythm. For rhythm represents the apex of the third triangle. Vibration represents the apex of the second triangle. And rhythm represents the floor of the second triangle. And vibration represents the floor of the third triangle. So we've got the third triangle, the floor, rhythm. The second triangle, the roof, rhythm, the floor. The first triangle, the floor is vibration. The second triangle, the roof is vibration, and the floor is rhythm. The third triangle, the roof is rhythm, and the floor is generation. So generation becomes the expression of the fundamental first principle. So the first principle and Muladhara are so fundamentally connected, because the Muladhara, the base seventh principle, is where all the things become harmonized back into a single whole of this reality, which is a replication of the spiritual reality that we're striving to connect with. So I just thought I'd put that out there. There's this really fundamental connection. Now, shamanism bases its entire practice upon the principle of rhythm. And this is why shamanism bases its its entire system upon principle of rhythm, because the etheric sphere has its roof in the rhythm, and the astral sphere has its floor in the rhythm. So the rhythm becomes a synthesis between the astral and the etheric, and that's how we create changes in the physical reality. That's how you make things happen. When the emotional expression is being bound through energy to express mentally in terms of thoughts what it holds as information, this can become digested and expressed through the physical forms that are created upon the etheric, which are structured by the flow of the astral, which is toning and intoning the resonant vibrational frequencies of the principle of vibration, which is the basis of the entire universe. This is why has got three parts. This is why Tat Sat fits into three parts. 9. This is why there are 9 numbers, because there's the first triad, second triad, and third triad. There are 9 things. There's 7 chakras because rhythm is repeated and vibration is repeated. So you've got 7 principles, but when you count vibration twice and you count rhythm twice, you've got 9. So this is how these triads work, which is really food for thought for those of you that are into the Kabbalah.